Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother Wasilkamilbey coming at you, Sham Stoppers. We're going to talk about the problems with child support in Massachusetts. Alright, this dude, he going to be up next. He going to tell you about how and why you guys are having problems in Massachusetts. I deal with two guys, and one of them guys that I dealt with is a very bright, intelligent brother, but we had to, get rid of communications with one. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Don't get this shit twisted. You see that shit right there? This is what I sip my tea out of. You hear me? So don't let my language fool you. Don't let it fool you. So be careful who you following on YouTube that don't put up no books and just as an internet fool, because you can change anything on this internet. Alright? I got shit in writing. Alright? So we finna get down to the nitty gritty, and I'm gonna let him do the talking.
Thank you very much. If any of you would like to pull your coat off, I know it's warm up here. I don't know whether it's warm out there. If you'd like to, you're welcome to do so.
I take that back. They sweating like a whore in church, as my good friend would say.
MELIA.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. My name is Bob MELIA. I'm the Director of Strategic Planning at the Massachusetts Department of Revenue, and I...
Strategic planning, and I'm gonna let him finish. Excuse me.
oversee both tax administration functions and the child support enforcement program in my state. From a tax administrator's point of view, the good news about child support is that over the last 15 years, collections have increased sevenfold. The bad news is that the program's budget has also increased sevenfold, which means there's been no increase in productivity during that time. That's especially disappointing in light of the 1984 and 1988 federal reforms, which gave states more and better enforcement tools, and also in light of the hundreds of millions of dollars that the federal government has spent on improving computer systems for child support agencies. It suggests that there is something fundamentally wrong with the enforcement strategy that we are pursuing. Our existing strategy is caseworker-based. That is, we expect an individual caseworker to review individual cases, make individual decisions, and enforce those cases one at a time.
You heard that, right? The caseworker.
We all know the results. With a caseload of 13 million, the system has all but collapsed. We need to build our program around a new strategy, a strategy that involves a seamless, highly automated collection system that can enforce the majority of cases without the need for caseworkers to ever touch that case. In the last year and a half in Massachusetts, we've made significant progress toward building such a system. There are two fundamental parts to a system. One is a new hire reporting. In Massachusetts, all employers must report new hires to the Revenue Department within 14 days of hire.
My brothers in Massachusetts, did you hear that? Let me show you something. Let me show you again.
That information is immediately entered into our computer system, and 24 hours later, the employer receives a wage assignment in the mail.
He said they must. He didn't say they will do it. They had to do it. By law. He didn't say by law they had to do it. And he didn't cite the law, now did he?
It's allowed us to enforce about 2/3 of the cases where the father is in Massachusetts without a caseworker ever having to lift a finger.
Wow.
The way we now move to collect past due child support involves what we call an administrative lien. That's a notice to an obligor that says, unless you pay what you owe in full within 30 days, the Department of Revenue will seize any income or assets it can find.
Income or assets? Didn't say earnings.
Last year, we sent out 70,000 such notices, and what it allows us to do is to match a file of all the child support delinquents in Massachusetts against, for example, a database of 6 million bank accounts in Massachusetts, identify the bank account of every single child support delinquent in the state, and freeze them all on the same day without a caseworker having to get involved.
Did you hear that? Let me continue.
Together, those two innovations have improved the in-state compliance rate, that is, where the obligor is in Massachusetts, from 65% to 80% in about a year and a half. That's noteworthy because at the national average, the compliance rate is increasing by less than 1% per year. It means by abandoning our caseworker-based strategy and shifting to this new strategy, we're able to achieve in about a year and a half what probably would have taken 15 to 20 years had we stuck with the old strategy. Also, at an 80% compliance rate, child support assurance becomes affordable. We did a simulation on 85,000 families to determine what would have happened in Massachusetts had a child support assurance program been in effect in 1992. We found that 3,000 families would have been able to leave the welfare rolls, that the poverty rate among working single-parent families in Massachusetts would have been cut 25%, and that the net cost to the state would have been about $35 million. As this committee seeks to fashion the next major piece of child support reform legislation, you will hear literally hundreds of suggestions. The Massachusetts experience suggests that 5 of them are key to improving child support collections. First, create a national new hire database. Extrapolating from our experience, that might be worth as much as $2 billion a year in additional child support collections. Second, allow all states electronic access to IRS data. Third, require all states...
You heard that.
To adopt the administrative lien and automated enforcement capability that we've pioneered in Massachusetts. Fourth, require states that still operate on a fragmented local or county basis to consolidate their programs at the state level, because unless they consolidate at the state level, they will simply be unable to take advantage of these innovations. And fifth, to adopt the full faith and credit in the one order, one place, one time recommendations of the U.S.
Talk a little bit more about the consolidate on the state level. I didn't want to cut you off, but
in many states, the program is run in effect on a county level or at a local level, where there is a 4D director with a small staff, but that director is a coordinator and not a manager of the program. And every county is on its own. And you might have 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 counties in a state. And if you are that fragmented, your ability to put together a single state database and start to do the types of computer matches against other databases is extremely limited and it's extremely cumbersome.
Okay.
So if Congress will make those 5 reforms, which I think are not expensive, at least they have not been in Massachusetts, I think that without significant additional spending, you can achieve significant improvements across the country. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you, Brett.
Well, there you have it. Brothers in Massachusetts, you heard it from Sham Stoppers today. That's why you niggas got problems. And for the, don't get that wrong when I say niggas. That's just a figure of speech. That's why you men having problems. Let me get like that, because you got some of these dumbass folks that want to be so corrected. They can't even get their own self out of child support and they're not helping nobody. They weren't raised right, But anyway, you look at him. Look at this cup. Remember this cup in this video, alright? What has he done and what have you been doing? Hey, you need help, hit us up. You know what I'm saying? We got the cures and remedies, all that good shit, Don't procrastinate. If you got doubt in your mind about us, don't come over here, because it's not going to work for you. We do have a testimony. We're going to try to get them today. If not tomorrow, people be busy. You know what I'm saying? So, we don't give out legal advice. We don't do that craziness. You know what I'm saying? We don't say legal words. We don't have a child. We have sons, daughters equals offspring. Better yet, seed. I like that better. Our seeds. So, Y'all know how to contact us. Hit us up. Peace.